welcome back to the channel today with Jason, aren't we?
How's it going?
We are in a Mark II Focus RS, a car that we've had a lot of dealings with on the channel. Jason has actually physically owned pretty much an identical car.
Yeah,
in theory.
It was.
Yeah. So we're going to go through today. We're going to take this one out because bringing up the question, are these worth a go at the moment? Are they worth buying? Do you reckon we've plateaued in the Focus RS financial game?
Yeah, so they've become a bit of a tricky one to finance now.
Yeah, because they're too old and you can't PCP a car like this. Financing is relatively dead on them. You can HP it or you could go get a loan on it. It just means that, yeah, you need a big deposit. You need to actually have physical money to get into one of these at the moment, but your money is pretty safe on it. Now, we're not all about money on this channel, don't get me wrong, but it's always nice to know your asset is pretty good for it. The issue is, there's a lot of them out there. You've got to find a nice one, and I feel like today we're in quite a nice one. We are in a nice example. So, mileage is key with everything Ford RS, I think. Yeah. Now, this vehicle is showing 59,000. Again, yeah, that's a 60,000 mile car. That's done 5,000 miles a year since it was new. Yeah, so I think that's about right. And if you are, say values, you're looking at just under 30k for something like this, in my opinion. Yeah. This one's at 27, which I think is pretty good value for money, considering during lockdown, especially, these were all over the place. They were. We were looking at prices over 30k for something like this, easily. There was at one point where I saw one for about, I think it was 35 grand, and a 50,000 miles on it. They're still out there. So they are out there. People are obviously trying, aren't they? I did a really good bit of research this last week. Now, it seems to go in bands, mileage bands. So if you're a 20 to 30,000 mile owner of one of these cars in nice condition, you are at £35,000. Now, the price decreases by £1,000 with every 5,000 mile less of mileage. That's a good way of looking at it, yeah. 5,000 mile plus. Yeah. So I've priced this at 27,995 without dealer facilities. With dealer facilities, it will be available with finance. It will be at a local car lot if you needed to get finance on it, or a part exchange. If you're a cash buyer, it's 27,995. Now, I've priced it that way for many things. It's not totally standard, but it's not far away. Yeah. It has a standard turbocharger, standard intercooler, standard crossover. It does have, however, some tuning upgrades to the suspension. It's had a set of high quality coilovers put on the car. So the old suspension was tired, and what are you going to do? You're not going to go and source brand new Ford suspension, unless you're me. Unless you're a weirdo and you want to put standard stuff on it with Ford badging. Hey, that's a good point. This is the sort of thing you put genuine Ford products on if you're about that life. Now, I'll be honest with you, I feel the coilovers that are on the car, they're doing a bloody good job there. Genuinely, this is doing such a... Look at the sausage! Love a sausage. Sorry, mate, sausage is the one. How is it? Yeah, he's alright. Yeah, we've gone from one to the other. My sausage dog Slinky, he's alright. I'll put some more of him on the channel soon, don't worry about that. We need to see more of him. Anyway, back to cars, because you lot love cars. I do feel like, yes, we are talking in the right realms of pricing and the right way of mileage and stuff. I do feel that that's the right thing we're talking about here. Spec is a good one, yeah. Now, I am a bit funny with these cars. I like a full fat spec car, even though this screen is out of date. It still looks... It's of era. It looks right in this car. Yeah, now, it does. So this is the navigation version that has also a Bluetooth function for your telephone. Using guidance, no CD, traffic. Oh, it's all happening in phone. It also has the DEACT, the dual air conditioning. Hello. So this is Lux Pack 2. Yeah. That also included a larger in-height TFT display in the centre of your dash. Now, what that means is it displays part of your guidance notes on there as a way of not having to look at this side. Yeah. Okay. And on the other Focus RSs and STs of the era, this was a half-size screen. I always felt it looked a bit small. Like it was lacking. Coming from the Volkswagen Highline era, that was a thing. Yeah, they all did it, mate. They all had it. This is the same thing again. That screen being big for me just finishes off the dashboard. Yeah, very small. I agree. But it's a thing. It just works, doesn't it? So if you're after one, that's what you go for. That's why this one is a shout. It feels well equipped. Yes, very well equipped. Also, with Lux Pack 2. you had keyless entry, which I think is needed. Now, well ahead of its time, it had no security, so these...
Everyone stole them, basically.
So I think you needed a Fisher-Price radio from Argos, and you could steal this car.
Pretty much just get in it and drive away if you really wanted to.
For the end user. So this vehicle doesn't have additional security at the moment. We are going to say to the person that buys it, because this has been garaged and kept away from the general public for the last 7 years.
No one knew this car existed.
Things have changed since this car became available.
Oi, look how funny that is, though. Ha!
That's excellent.
That's funny.
I think we've all been in
We've all, well, I've been a person, you know, quite a lot.
So, getting back to the specs, it also has auto headlights, auto wipers, keyless entry, keyless locking, keyless start, all completely standard on this car with the Lux Pack 1 and 2. The only thing it doesn't have, and personal preference for me, it doesn't have the dynamic of chairs. So the blue's nice, as is the green with a green car. I think green with a green car works, but I think black in a white car
is a shout.
So that's the only thing I think this car's lacking. It has the factory tints in the back.
Nice from Ford.
So it's got everything apart from dynamic interior. So it's a well-spec'd car, in my opinion. Still got white vents, which is...
I love the white vents. I can't... When you used to say about your white vents on yours, or black vents, I never used to really get it. And now I look at it, I'm like...
That's cool.
I look at it and think, wow, it's got like actual white vents. I know why it looks so much better.
Everyone turned them black.
Maybe it's because I'm old now, but... like, it's just one of those things. I don't think I would personally do silver wheels. Yours had silver wheels, it just works. I know that's the standard look, don't get me wrong, but it looks so good.
This has got black wheels but white vents.
Yeah, which is completely opposite to how everyone was doing it, because they all have black vents.
Makes no sense.
No. So what we're going to do next is go to the petrol station, we're going to put some fuel in it. And
super duper.
What we're going to do is have a tour of it as well, because I think everyone out there deserves a tour. And we're going to do it through Jason's, because... oh yeah, it has 5-pot as well.
Nothing ever beat that sound.
Ever in
and now
ever.
I want to buy it.
Ever in ever. Right, but what we're going to do is we're going to actually pull over somewhere and do a nice little tour from Jason's point of view, because he loves Focus RS's.
You want my opinion?
Yeah, I want your opinion, because you've owned one of these.
No one cares
and no one cares about your opinion. I do, because you know what you're talking about Focus RS's, because you've probably driven as many as I have, if not more.
Comments below, who thinks I should have a career change and I should just sell cars?
Yes! And I should drive. We should go and drive them all.
So do you not think we should do our own driving channel of cars we're selling?
Yep. Like these mincy numbers here, 28750. Do you want to see that? Yeah, right, so this convertible 55 plate on the blue. She's got rims, SRI. It's got a huge dent down the side of it. All right, well, we're not going to sell you that one. What we're going to do is we're going to get some petrol. It was worth a go. We're going to get some petrol, have a tour. So we've got back to La Office. We're going to bring Jason in. We're going to talk about the outside of the Focus, because yes, we've had many of these. You've owned one. I've driven pretty much everyone under the sun, but it's got grubby wheels. Don't worry about that. I mean, it's fine. But we need to talk about these cars, because at the end of the day, they are getting rare. I believe that they're the next. Well, they are a come up anyway. But for me, this is a desirable spec. It's probably the way I would have it. I'd probably go for silver wheels though. But mate, as conditions go. Nice. And we will point straight out, white vents. White vents are the best thing ever invented. And unfortunately, we were talking about this on the way here. Many of these have been modified heavily and have taken away from the idea of them actually just being nice cars to start with.
Yeah. So don't think there's many left now.
No, that are like this.
Represent what they were.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've just gone down the road in it. It's not mapped, is it? And to be fair,
no. At 300 horsepower, mate, it is still fantastically fast. And the gearbox is lovely. It just rose so nicely. We cruised back as well, and it was just like...
yeah, literally under the speed limit by 10 mile, 50 mile, all the way back, 6th gear, cruising through the sunny day.
Yeah.
And just reminded me why I had one for 6 years.
Yeah. You had one for 6 years?
It's how long
Wow, that's how long you had it. Well, there you go then.
It was Laura's Bailey,
Perfect.
4
Yeah.
years, and then we had the 2 year of it just being modified.
Yeah, just being around. So that's mad. So you've actually really done some miles and some
Yeah, we
time
did
in this.
37,000 miles on us.
Wow. Okay, so as ownership goes, you're probably the main person because yours was not standard. It was 420 Collins
never
map.
went beyond 400 really for the majority of its lifetime. Then we did the 420 at the end and sold it.
But then you are the ultimate person to be talking about these, and I've pretty much driven every one from a 300 horsepower one, mount tune ones, 500, 600, 700 horsepower, everything under the sun. So, you know, we've been around these cars.
Last of the wide arch generation.
Yeah, so
the one-offs.
you've had a Mark 1, couple of Mark 1s, Focus RSs. This is the level up from that. Couple of Mark 3s. This is still, in my opinion, and probably in yours, the better generation.
Go back to the video we did of the Versus.
Yeah, the Versus video was a very good video between this and a Mark III, and this just came up on top every time. Just because of arches, the way it looks, the two-door, the way it felt, the seats, everything was just right.
And then they were just 20 grand still.
Yeah, they were still obtainable. This is obtainable to the point, but this is the one you want to buy where you can still throw a bit of mileage on.
Yeah.
And it still looks the part. I feel like, you know, it's still in really good condition. You're not having to worry about rust and it blowing up because it's loads of power and just, you know, everything like that you would probably get from that over there, a Series 1 RS Turbo.
Yes.
Which is what we've both got. And this is like that generation where it's still obtainable and it's still buyable. And look how big this boot is, though. You can, mate, get it. That's the spirit. Look how big. Right, let's just pop this down. Right, lovely. You're right in there, yeah, lovely, yeah. You can get an actual person inside. Look at that. That is, mate, if it doesn't get any better than that.
And I'm fat.
And I'm fat, so there's that.
We're going to do this from now on.
Yeah.
We're going to get does Jason fit his fat ass in the boot test?
Yeah, I like that. That's a test, that
This
is.
one's a pass.
That's a good pass.
I had some tyre
Huge amount
wells
of
and I was okay.
Yeah.
I had first aid.
Yeah, just in case. So, I mean, you know, that's perfect. Big old exhaust on the back with Miltex.
Yeah.
Because this one hasn't got a standard exhaust system, as you already heard, but that's the perfect size tip and the perfect rear end, I'm going to say, if you're going OEM Plus.
It's spot on.
It's spot on. Lowered slightly on the coilovers. What coilovers are they?
Can't remember.
Can't remember off the top of my head.
Got it written down.
We've got it written down, don't worry about it.
They were dear ones.
They were tier ones. They feel like they're very adaptive to the road. Big spoiler at the back. I mean, I love the spoilers on these. They just look
Privacy
right.
glass.
Privacy glass. As a pack, then, as a car, as something you could probably invest in, get a good return one day if you want, or put mileage on, or just enjoy on a daily basis. Mate, it's the ultimate, isn't it?
It is.
It's not at the point where it's depreciating. It's done that and come back up. COVID has sort of helped that, but I do feel like...
In other news, I'm out.
Yeah, that's happened. We'll get to that in another video. But the last thing I'm going to say is, which one would you go for at the end of this video? Because then I'll know from the comments who's actually watching to this point. All of these are the same price. The Mark II Focus RS, this ST and the Series 1, they are all exactly similarly priced by £1,000, say. Which one would you go for? Leave a comment below because I want to know, would you go for the Mark II? Would you go for the ST Edition, so a fiery version or the best version of this version of ST, or Series 1 RS Turbo? I'd really like to see if you can find one of them. Interesting price. Find a good one of these because they're all actually hard to obtain a nice version.
Yeah.
This is hard to find in a nice spec. This is hard to find anyway because there isn't any of them, and they're all rusty.
Not all.
All of, well, most of them anyway. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Cheers, Jason. Appreciate it, mate.
See you soon.
That's all right. We'll see you later.